name is Sam J. Callaway, and I would like to talk to you today about a place that we all frequent daily, without which we would suffer greatly. This place? The bathroom. But not all bathrooms are created equal, and not for all people anyway. The more specific subject I'll be speaking about is the importance of having gender-neutral bathrooms. But why care about bathrooms? Because having safe bathrooms for all individuals is a matter of equal protection under law. As a part of the LGBTQIAP+ community, I keep informed about civil rights issues like this one, especially as it personally affects the people I care about. Also, in the course of researching this presentation, I have checked and rechecked all the facts. So here's the gist of my message today. First, we have a problem. Every individual should be able to use the bathroom they identify with, and that is not consistently happening in our state or in our country. Second, to solve this problem, action must be taken. And finally, this will benefit us all. Here's the problem in a bit more detail. First, bathrooms that are set up as men's and ladies are a problem for intersex individuals. A person who is intersex may have male genitalia but appear feminine or vice versa. Additionally, those born intersex may seem androgynous or have both masculine and feminine characteristics, or may appear to be of indeterminate gender. This can make them feel unwelcome in either gendered bathroom. Intersex people have the right to use bathrooms without discomfort or harassment. In addition, transgender people don't feel safe using the bathrooms they identify with, or even the bathrooms they don't identify with. This can leave them without a place to use the restroom at all. In fact, a transgender-focused study entitled Gender Restrooms and Minority Stress stated 54% of reported adverse health effects from trying to avoid using public restrooms, such as dehydration, kidney infections, and urinary tract infections. 10% of respondents who attended school in DC reported a negative impact on their education, including having excessive absences and dropping out of school due to issues related to bathroom access. And 58% reported that they have avoided going out in public due to a lack of safe public restrooms. Mike, an online news source states roughly 70% of trans people have reported being denied entrance, assaulted, or harassed while trying to use a restroom. You know what? According to this evidence, the conclusion is that transgender people are people. Therefore, they have the right to use bathrooms. Finally, some people have a whole host of fears regarding gender-neutral bathrooms, and yet every one of those fears is not only irrational, but also false. One fear is that allowing transgender people to use their preferred bathrooms will lead to increased sexual assaults. Specifically, they are afraid that trans people or people pretending to be trans people, specifically trans women, will sexually assault women and children. This is simply not true. Another online quote from Mike cites the Director of Communications for the National Center of Transgender Equality, which has not heard of a single instance of a transgender person harassing a non-transgender person in a public restroom. Those who claim otherwise have no evidence that this is true and use the notion to prey upon the public stereotypes and fears of transgender people. Yet one more online news source, The Advocate, concurs. There has never been a verifiable reported instance of a trans person harassing a cisgender person, nor have there been any confirmed reports of male predators pretending to be transgender to gain access to women's spaces and commit crimes against them. The bottom line, irrational and false fears are hurting people and infringing on their civil rights. So where to start on these problems? Who benefits from gender-neutral bathrooms? A lot of people. Think about your last cross-country family trip. You're making the convenience store pit stop and anxious to get back on the road. Having two gender-neutral bathrooms is much better than having one ladies' and one men's. This way, we avoid the rest of the passengers impatiently waiting in the car because of the mandatory 2 to 3 women lineup, while a desperate mother is in the women's room with her 2-year-old twins, while the men's room sits empty. In addition, here's a small sampling of other beneficiaries, summarized from the Unitarian Universalist Association website. People uncomfortable in women's or men's bathrooms for many reasons. For example, people who are not women or men, or people who are gender nonconforming. Parents and caregivers whose children are a different sex from them, and people with caregivers or personal attendants who are a different sex from them. All right, let's recap. To accomplish the long-term solution to the civil rights situation, we need to educate the fearful and write our government officials. This way, we can pass a bill in Iowa, or better yet, pass federal legislation that would do away with the men and women's designations on all bathrooms, both public and private. This is simply a matter of the human rights progress. A similar civil rights law passed with a great deal of success in 1965, ending another time in history when bathrooms used to discriminate against another minority group. We need in the short term, we need legislation now that includes measures which ensure every person has the right to safely use a bathroom that makes them the most comfortable, or many individuals will continue to face the harassment mentioned previously when in the bathroom they identify with, which shouldn't be as big a deal as it is. For instance, according to ABC News, a coalition under the advocacy group National Task Force to End Sexual and Domestic Violence Against Women reported, over 200 municipalities and 18 states have non-discrimination laws protecting transgender people's access to facilities consistent with the gender they live every day. None of those jurisdictions have seen a rise in sexual violence or other public safety issues due to non-discrimination laws. Assaulting another person in a restroom or changing room remains against the law in every single state. The rationale for these solutions is that if our nation believes that every human is born with dignity and humanity, then our nation needs to pass laws to protect every one of its citizens equally. To help us further understand why gender-neutral bathrooms are the right solution, let's take a look at the multitude of benefits. We have a discrimination issue that is also a civil rights violation. There are solutions to this problem. Once these solutions are accomplished, we will all benefit. Not to scare you, but you've already been in a unisex bathroom before. Look out, there might even be one in your own home. As I close, there's one more short-term solution that I have personally found easy to do, and it's a rather easy call to action. Download and contribute to the Refugee Restrooms app. This app maps safe restrooms or unisex bathrooms for people who need them and gives details about the locations provided by people like you with the app who spot such safe places and add them to the map.